Partner says she was drugged and doesn't remember cheating part 1. Hi everyone, welcome back to another Reddit cheating story. Before we start, please hit the subscribe button and click the notification bell so you won't miss another cheating story goes live. Sorry if this is a long post, or if this is in the wrong place, but there's a lot of backstory, more than I've already written, and I usually never post, but I need to share it somewhere since I feel like I can't tell anybody. Me, 24M, and my partner, 21F, recently got a place together, and had gone out for food, and decided to get a couple of drinks afterwards. I had work in the morning and had made it clear that I needed to leave by midnight at the latest, but since we'd met a couple of people on the night out, she didn't have to come back with me since I assumed she'd be safe. By midnight, we'd both had a few drinks, but I'd stopped as I needed to be able to drive in the morning. She wanted to continue drinking, and had almost drank double what I had. For reference, she can drink me under the table 3 times over, and seemed completely fine, and was chatting and dancing with the girls in a group of friends we'd made that night. One of our friends from our apartment building, I'll call him Harry for clarity, was coming out to meet her too, so I knew she'd have no issue coming home since she wouldn't be walking alone. I said goodbye to the group we were with, and we agreed to text each other to let the other know the other was safe or if plans changed. As I was heading back, I saw Harry. We talked for a minute and I carried on. On getting back to the apartment, I text my partner as agreed, letting her know I'm home, and she messages me back saying she's happy, etc. I let her know I'm probably going straight to sleep, as I need to be up at 7 a.m. to get ready for work. She texts back telling me she loves me, etc., and I go to sleep. Q4 a.m., I hear someone trying to get into the apartment. I'm half awake at this point as I assume it's her, but I know she's okay, but I hear her SHHing someone in the hallway. Assuming this to be Harry, I just assume she's trying to get him to be quiet since she knows I'm sleeping. A few minutes later, she bursts into the room, stumbling over clothes she left on the floor while getting ready, and falling onto the edge of the bed. She starts talking about how she had a great night, before exclaiming shit. Dropping her phone, and then proceeding to crawl out of the bedroom. Being fully awake now, I get dressed and head to the living room where she's slumped over the sofa, babbling to herself. I check if she's okay and she starts telling me how she's been trying to act as if she's my age, trying to be more mature for me, but she's struggling because she's only 21, and continues on to say I don't deserve you, you're too good for me, etc. Which struck me as odd, since she's never mentioned this before. She also mentions that Harry had made sure she didn't make a fool of herself and helped her home as she had drunk too much, which is unusual for her. This is relevant later. I reassure her, we talk for a bit and I head back to bed, but I have a gut feeling since the last time she was talking like this, she'd ended up cheating on me with a mutual friend while drunk. She comes to the bedroom about 10 minutes later, and starts telling me she thinks she has autism or ADHD, as she struggles to read social situations, i.e. when she's flirting, being flirted with, and dissociates a lot, among other things. I'm not entirely knowledgeable about mental health issues, so I'm not an expert on symptoms of ADHD or autism, but hasn't been diagnosed and is scared to go to a doctor to be diagnosed. She leaves a few minutes later and I go back to sleep. I woke up the next morning, and went to check on her since we have 2 bedrooms and she didn't want to disturb me. Found her sprawled on the bed in the spare room. She was breathing and seemed to be okay, so I set out about getting ready. However, I still have the gut feeling from the night before, and something just doesn't sit right with me. I open up Snapchat, and see she's posted a story of her and a guy I didn't recognize dancing. I am aware people can dance as friends, but this was 2 people with arms around each other and faces a few inches apart. I was curious, so I texted our mutual friend who met up with her about what happened. However, while I still don't know what happened with the guy she was dancing with, Harry immediately apologizes to me. At some point, either on the walk home or in the club, her and Harry were dancing and ended up kissing. He tells me he feels awful and it wasn't worth it, and for what it's worth it won't happen again, but he understands if I don't trust him again. Further to this, he sends me screenshots of messages she sent him after she got home, of them having casual conversation and then her saying to him, "I want to kiss you again," to which he replies, "Stop it." She mentions that she knows and that she can't do it again because of me. Whether that means because I'm home or because she suddenly feels guilty, I have no idea. Finding this out, I immediately confronted her. I did wake her up, and told her that I know she kissed our friend last night. Her response, and I shit you not, was, "Oh God, I know." It wasn't even that good either, and I lost my shit a little bit. I tell her we're done and she's screwed the relationship for the final time. I'll provide more backstory on the other time she cheated on me at the end. She says it wasn't that way, and I tell her I've seen the conversation she had with our friend about telling him she wanted to kiss him again. She barely responds, and ends up going back to sleep. I tell her that shows how little she cares about what she's done, and end up going to work as I'm already late as it is. I also reference the Snapchat of her dancing with the guy on her story, which she quickly deleted. A few hours later, she messages me saying she's not sure there's much to say about, but it still happened and she's sorry. I'll admit, I threw the apology back in her face, referencing things she said the night before about the guy she kissed helping her home, how she messaged him while talking to me telling him that she wanted to kiss him again, and how this is exactly how she reacted when I'd caught her out cheating previously, to which her response was okay. I leave it for a few hours as I'm working, until she texts me again saying I bought you a McDonald's. I respond by telling her I'm done and I'm moving out. She continues to tell me I don't need to move out because she doesn't want me to. I'm a petty bastard and tell her oh okay, I've changed my mind. You and Harry kissing and telling him you want to kiss him again is fine now. A lot of conversation occurs, mostly me being pissed since this isn't the first time she cheated, her telling me she can fix it, me telling her I have no trust in her anymore and her responding with it's only happened twice though. Later, she messages me telling me that although she didn't want to mention it, but her friend told her she should, she was spiked by the guy she was dancing with, who was buying her drinks after I left, as she'd only bought one more drink since I left before the guy started buying her drinks. I ask her if she knows for certain if she was spiked, and she tells me she doesn't remember anything after having the drink and went from being tipsy to blackout drunk, and walking home not being able to walk properly, around the time she kissed our friend, which is confirmed to have been her making an advance on him. I tell her she needs to get a drugs test or talk to the police or whatever the process is after being spiked, as anything could have happened and if she doesn't remember she needs to check she hasn't BSA'd, however she tells me she won't bother because it's not really worth the hassle. I'm annoyed, although possibly not rightly so, since she seems so uncaring about the situation, which if true means she was spiked and anything could have happened to her, and if untrue means she's trying to make excuses for her cheating on me. Note this isn't a case of not believing her as a victim, but more that she's given excuses like this before for getting too drunk and doing stupid things and she's confessed to be untrue. If it is true then I agree I've been an asshole, and I do everything to make sure she gets help. She turns the situation on me telling me it's her body and she can do what she wants, which is true and I'd never tell her to do otherwise, but I feel like in the case of SA and being spiked I'd want the person who had done that to me to face some sort of repercussion. I know the number of victims reporting SA is low, along with the stigma and the issues with reporting SA. I can understand why women don't report SA. The system being stacked against SA victims is insane. I got home from work and told her I'd be looking for a new place at the start of the week, but until then I've split up our stuff into 2 rooms so we have our own space for the time being. She responds over and over telling me she loves me and she wants to fix it, but apart from going down the route of helping her get a test after being spiked and all, I can't trust her anymore since she's cheated on me again. There are more to come. Find out the update of this story. Check our channel or the description. Thank you for watching and don't forget to subscribe and turn on the notification bell for any future cheating stories.